Hey, it's us. Always once again. I'm JT. Got my boy with me. Say something, Mike.
What it do?
And we're here for another quick episode of Iyanla, Fix My Life. And we have our sister Bonnie, who we talking today. She's from LA. Did I say right? Who we talking today? Who we talking about? Today, I'm all correct myself. And so she, she's what would you want to say? I know she's obese, morbidly
yeah,
obese. The lady is like over 500 pounds, but we kind of come to figure out it was like over 600. Actually. And so she she's been in her house for like over 5 years, because she's just there sitting in her bed because she's overweight, she's eating, and
she been in her house over 7 years.
Well, over
in
7
her bed
for 5 years.
Yeah.
And we find out like she's been like, I guess, depressed because she's her mother passed, I guess, the 7 years ago. No, 2004.
2004.
So 10 years ago. And I guess she, you don't know how people gonna react to a parent's passing or whatnot, and she went into a deep depression and I guess overeating and whatnot, and it came to a point where her daughter was bathing her, feeding her, and basically being her caretaker. In her own home. She haven't left, and she feels somewhat embarrassed about it, and so she wants to do something about it now. She called Iyanla, and Iyanla came out to the house, and when she first came to the house, she came around, and she said, "This is the only way I can get into the house is by getting keys."
Yeah, she called on the phone and let her know she was outside.
It's like she buying drugs.
It seemed like a drug
like
transaction.
It's covert action.
She came, and then Bonnie had her come around to the window to get the key.
Get the keys.
So she can let herself in, basically.
Had it color coordinated, so it seemed like this wasn't her first time giving her
getting the key
to somebody.
out.
And like, which one? The pink one. And so, it seemed like that was a normal routine for her to do that. And she came, she came in the house, and there she was in her room. I couldn't imagine being in one room for damn near a day, let alone five years, over 5 years, man. That that's cabin fever at its worst. That's cabin AIDS.
I can do it.
I know your old ass can. You don't go out.
That's the same. And you know what? As we was watching this show, and I'm listening to Bonnie's story, I'm like, that could so easily be me.
I pointed that out.
Oh, did you?
You remember we were talking about?
I ain't know. I'm like, because if I didn't have to, if it wasn't for me going to work, I would just probably be here in the house playing video games. Because I don't have to go anywhere to entertain myself. But I don't know about just being like confined to the house. That would be prison. Confined to the house for 7 years. I guess she's always been a bigger woman.
Yeah.
But she said like she came outside one day and fell. And she fell in between like her fence and her car or something like that, and couldn't get up, and she was too heavy for her daughter to get up, so they had to end up calling the ambulance. And that experience, she said she was so embarrassed and ashamed that she decided, hey, leaving this house crap is for the birds. I ain't gonna be able to do it. And so she just decided to stay in the house. And 2 years after that, she had another accident where she
slid off the bed. Because she said the first couple of years, she just be at the end of the bed, and and that's how far she'll go.
Right.
And I guess because she couldn't walk or whatever, or she wasn't really that mobile.
Yeah, she seemed like she wasn't motivated to do anything.
Well, she's depressed, man.
Well, but I can understand.
Ain't too many motivated depressed people. That's the opposite. Anyway, I swear. But
she tried to walk.
She tried to walk, and I guess she fell again. and that was basically because I think Iyanla asked her like, when was like when you just said I'm not getting off this bed. When did you make that decision? You know, because they had to come to a decision like where, you know, when was the last time you just been outside your room? I can't get past that. I'm sorry. I guess probably because I've never been through that point. But I've never been that depressed.
If it's something, if you're doing something that, you know, maybe walking or whatever, you know, hurt her to do because it was such a struggle because of her weight. So it's like, you know what, this is walking is for the birds. Now it's sad that she got to that point. She was done with both. She was over it, and it just, you know, she felt like it would be easier for me to just sit here on this or lay here on this bed and have everybody else do for me.
Yes.
Now the part that kind of struck me, because you know we just talked, go ahead. The part that kind of bothered me a little bit, and I wonder how I would react, is being her daughter Jamisha. Her daughter is the one who has to like you were saying, do everything for her, feed her, bathe her, and then you know she sleeps on. It looks like you know those bed. I don't know what they call it. Like the stuff they used to put down for little kids.
Like a.
So like little kids that pee on themselves. Remember she has some of those, the little mats or whatever. Yeah. She sleeps on those, and so she goes to the bathroom on it. And the fact that your mom is just sitting there, you probably don't really like understand the seriousness of it. You probably thinking like, just get up.
You lay the ass.
Yeah, and so when Iyanla was talking to the Bonnie's friends, they were like, we think she's disrespectful. The daughter's disrespectful and selfish, and you know,
but they ain't there 24 hours though.
They ain't the one that got to wipe her ass.
Plus, we learned that the daughter has a 2-year-old son, so she has to take care of the son also,
as well as her mama. And then the son's father got killed, and so the daughter's dealing with
her own issues
and has to deal with her mom. And then how do you explain your mom to everybody else?
You don't want to invite nobody to the, you know, where your mom at? She in the bed. Where your mom at? She in the bed. Where your mom at? She in the bed. Then
they start wondering why we ain't never met your mama. Like, you know, is your mama
where she at?
You know, you start thinking like, did she do something to her mama? Like, because you know, like we hear a whole bunch of stories about people like this. I just talked about a story last week about this man who mama, she passed away, but he kept her in the freezer so he can keep collecting those Social Security checks. So I mean, it's real out here. Stuff like that happens all the time.
It's too real.
Well, look at what we dealing with Miss Bonnie. That's too real. And she was like, the daughter was embarrassed. She's like, I don't want to be wiping my mom's ass.
Yeah, she want to live. You know, she's young.
She's like, I want my mama to be my mama. Yeah, I shouldn't be. And I can understand if it was. Well, I can't say I can understand. I think it would be different for her if something tragic happened to where your mom just couldn't take care of herself. Like she was in an accident, had a heart attack. But this is just your mom just kind of gave up on life and developed this disability.
Yeah. And, you know, like they said, she had friends that enabled her, you know.
Bring her food and all of that, yeah.
She like, you didn't see the problem of giving a 600-pound woman some fried chicken? Well, I didn't necessarily give her fried chicken
per se. She said, well, what did you give her? I gave her, you know, what she wanted.
She gave her some fried chicken. I'm sorry. You don't get 600 off of some grilled chicken and salad.
But she's not moving. So I think the more you just sit there and eat, you can probably eat marshmallows or bird food.
Marshmallows ain't healthy though.
It's fried chicken.
I know what I'm saying.
Like, I think if you eat too much salad and not move, I feel like you can still gain some weight. She ain't gonna
you ain't gonna get like that to where you're not gonna get off the bed. Somebody had to cut. They had to cut the door,
the walkway.
Yeah, I guess a few feet more. So they had to cut it out so they can get her out on the gurney. You know, get her some help and take her to the center. It was, you know,
it was touching, but still, I don't like. What if it was me? Like, what if not me? What if it was my mom dealing with something like that? Like, how would I react?
How would you treat it?
Like, Jamisha didn't even like look at this lady as her mom, and that's sad.
It was. I mean, because you start resenting that person,
right?
Because it's really not medical, like really wrong with her, other than mental. Like she just made it a point. You know, she's made it up in her mind. I'm not gonna move anymore, and now you expect me to do everything for you,
and you almost feel obligated because that's your mama.
And the mother says she gets mad when people don't do for her. I'm like, well, you know, you got to put yourself in somebody else's shoes. This is somebody that's taking care of you, doing all nursing stuff. They get paid, and you know, she probably on a little guilt trip. You know, telling her, you know, I'm your mama type deal.
Mm-hmm. And then they, you know, get into arguments, calling each other
bitches, and you know, and Iyanla was like, well, when you go that far, you know, when your daughter is doing everything for you, she's gonna feel some type of way towards you. It's gonna be a lot of resentment.
That's exactly what it's gonna be.
And she was bringing
because I can see myself feeling the same way.
Oh yes. Talking about, you know, she wasn't there for her the birth of her son. She wasn't there when she was grieving over the killing of her boyfriend. And you know, she's basically like living on her own when her mama's right there, but just she talking.
And it looks like she's just refusing to do.
Yes. And her mom was trying to make some excuse. Well, you know, I'm there. She's like, you know, but you're
not there.
Not, though.
Yeah.
You know, when you really want your mom to be there, and you're here.
Yeah, you're alive. But it's almost as if you're dead because you can't do anything for me, or you refuse to do the work to be able to do something for me. So, like you mentioned earlier, they had to get an ambulance and some people to come and cut like some extra space out of the walkway so she can get out. And once she got outside, I mean, it was so touching to see like how emotional she was because she ain't been outside in 7 years.
Damn it, not outside. She hadn't been outside her room. She said, "Open your eyes." She kept on closing her eyes.
Like, she was so overwhelmed, I believe, at what was happening.
I think she was just embarrassed.
I can see that too.
You know,
y'all had to show her the living room. Like this is your living room.
You remember this?
You remember?
They could have made it to a brothel or something. You don't know what's going on. And so it was touching. At one point, but at another point, you know, I think she was somewhat selfish in her living. You know, people have lost people in their lives before, and you know,
like you mentioned, just people deal with it in different ways. She said her mama was her crutch. So, like, she allows people help her, and when they do that to her, it feels as if she's loved. And if she's being nurtured, kind of like her mom used to do. And it's like, you are too damn old.
You're too grown.
And too grown. You got kids. I feel like to be as old as she was and allowing her mom to still baby her, basically.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like was going on.
Like, I always told her, it's just me and you. And I'm like, well, Dad, he was talking about the daddy too. The dad died, and so he had some type of impact in our life. So
for her to even find out that he passed away, she must have knew who he was.
Yeah, and so
maybe he just wasn't supportive, or he wasn't there, or maybe the mom turned her against. Let me quit speculating. I don't.
It sounds like it lied.
I done turned it into a drama.
Yeah.
Daddy wasn't there. Shoot, her mom was like, that nigga wasn't shit. I don't know.
What. But I think people should grieve. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but it comes a point in the world keeps turning, and people is still on this earth that that love you and still and still want to do for you and care for you, but you shouldn't put undue pressure or obligations on people that you love and expect them to do it. And and she wasn't doing nothing. Not one thing might be.
She was doing whatever she can do that was on that table.
She was breathing. That's what she was doing. Breathing and taking her keys out to somebody and through the window. Because obviously she wasn't emotional support towards her daughter, and that should be the closest person to you.
And I'm thinking I'll probably be like that's my daughter, so I can talk to her any kind of way. But then looking at the situation, I'll probably be like let me humble myself because I just shit on myself, and I need her to come in here and do something about it.
Because she cannot.
She cannot come.
And
what you
gonna do?
And her daughter could have been that type of daughter to not ever come back.
Yeah.
Nobody even knows she's in there, and then she ends up passing away, laying in that bed. Like she said, that bed has become her coffin. That room has become her coffin.
But
She got help. She got out the house.
Help. They got out the house and took.
She was so excited. I mean, I totally understand. And they had the neighbors out there cheering for her because they ain't seen her ass in a long time either.
She was like, "Stop the gurney." And there, I mean,
she's saying hi to everybody. Cause she need. I would have just had a day where she could just be outside, and then the next day we take her to the house.
Like, you haven't seen me outside. I haven't seen you
the
outside.
Little boy, like damn near 9 years old, and they never seen her outside. She said her grandson. She was like, "I told you I was gonna take you outside one day," and she was outside with them. So that, I mean, it was a nice episode, and it was like very touching. But it's real out here because stuff. I mean, as we see, it happens. I mean, we see the episodes. Well, you know, they got a show called My 600-Pound Life about people going through similar situations. Just this time they called it Iyanla instead of TLC.
I mean, she came in and limped on in.
Limped on in.
She need to stop wearing them heels.
Ask God.
It's being a detriment to them feet of hers.
She making it work.
No, she ain't. She survived. Boy, I tell you. But you know, they gave us an update. I think she went to a hospital for USC for like a month, and then they took her, I guess, to a rehab center after that, and they said she had lost 75 pounds since this March, I believe, or you know, and she took some steps. She's walking or trying to walk.
She stood up.
She stood up, and
that, you know, without she was sitting in that bed for 5 years, so I know. Them bones, even though it looks like they big, them bones is weak.
Oh, of course, if you haven't used your bones in 5 years, let alone some months, it's gonna be weak. You know,
she was good spirited though, and that's what I like. You know, it's like if she would have just
now you got your preference for coming and going out the house. Now, goddamn it,
no, I ain't talking about that. I'm just talking about even when she was talking to Iyanla, like when Iyanla first met her, I thought she was gonna be this downtrodden person, but she seemed cool. Like if you were just ready. Going there, if people would just go in her house and just talk to her, she'd be cool.
Nah.
But, you know, then I feel like that's enabling her. Because now you can have conversations in your room. Get out the house. And that's what she did. She stood up.
And she stood up. So
and the doctor said like she might be able to walk within a month.
Yeah. So everything, it looks like it's on the up and up. You know, they got her on a restricted diet. And, you know, it really, you know, you really couldn't go in. You know, because it wasn't no like extra people. It was mostly her problem. Yeah, or you might say something, you know, something a little bit with her daughter, but you know, it was basically focused on her and getting her out the house.
And which I feel like it should have been focused on her because the problem was
with her. So, folks, you got anything else?
I ain't got nothing, brother.
That concludes our little Iyanla episode. Until next time, we'll catch you next week. Did they give us on? No, don't ask.
Don't ask. You always try to come with on last minute question. Like, did they show what kind of shoes she? No, I do not know, brother. Go ahead and end it. Until next time, people. We talk to y'all later. Peace.